This One News update is brought to you by ANZ. We live in your world.
There's a warning tonight that teachers will lose their jobs as a result of a shake-up in education. In its latest pre-budget announcement, the government says it wants bigger classes and no extra teaching staff. Political reporter Michael Parkin joins us now with the details. Mike.
Simon, over $9.5 billion will be spent on education below the tertiary level in the next year. Of that, today we were told $500 million will be new money. But of course, in a zero budget, that money has to come from somewhere, and opposition parties say that will cost teachers their jobs.
The children at Hataitai Primary got the thumbs up from Hekia Parata, but it's teachers the Education Minister really has her eye on, announcing her intention to introduce the controversial performance pay system before the next election, where teachers' salary increases depend on how well their students are doing in class.
I'm concerned that we have better quality teaching because all the evidence tells us that's what raises student achievement.
But there are fears those students with learning difficulties will be left behind.
This will not incentivise teachers to actually work with those students.
The government's also putting a cap on the number of teachers by keeping it at its present level.
We're not reducing teacher numbers.
It says over the last 10 years the student roll has grown by just over 2.5%, while the number of teachers is up by more than 12.5%. Hekia Parata says $43 million can be saved annually by not hiring any extra teachers.
Teachers will be being pushed out the door through cost cutting, through increased class sizes, through more punitive measures like performance pay, which can be used to put undue pressure on teachers.
Capping the number of teachers while school rolls continue to grow will mean bigger classes for many. The government is changing the student-to-teacher funding ratio between years 2 and 10. It currently ranges between 1 teacher for every 23 pupils to 1 to 29. Now there'll be a fixed ratio of 1 teacher to 27.5 students.
90% of schools will lose or gain up to 1 full-time teaching equivalent.
That makes teachers' jobs much worse and much more difficult, and every parent knows that what they want is individual attention from their teachers on their kids.
Teachers now left with questions of their own.
The government's also going to require trainee teachers to have a postgraduate qualification, not just a degree, and that brings with it some extra challenges because they'll have to study longer, they'll have to get a bigger loan, which we already know they're going to have to repay faster, and of course student allowances for those studying for longer than 4 years are going to be scrapped. Add on to that the fact there will be a cap on those teacher numbers, and it is going to be harder for them to find a job.
Political reporter Michael Parkin, thank you.
This One News update is brought to you by ANZ. We live in your world.